Hola y bienvenidos a Cien de Cine, Toma 0.9. Hoy nos vamos hasta New York, donde Sam Mendes estrena su nueva película. Away We Go es una comedia dramática donde una pareja recorre todo Estados Unidos buscando el mejor lugar donde poder crear a su familia. Y nos vamos a New York a escuchar las declaraciones de los protagonistas de Away We Go.
Well, it made me laugh, and I felt like it was time I needed to do something that was a little bit more hopeful and optimistic than some of the things I've been doing, and I felt like it at the time. I mean, it's very difficult as a director. You get sent these scripts, and the feeling that you get when you read one that you want to do is kind of like, wow, how did they know what was going on inside my head, And that's what I felt like at the time. It made me laugh, and I loved the central characters. I loved Bert and Verona. And so I made it, and I thought it's about time I did something that was small and easy to maneuver and fun and.
Oh my God, I fell in love with it completely, and it really stuck with me. I'd never read anything like it before. I'd never seen characters like this before in such a simplistic way. I felt like their story was just real and kind of like real life that sometimes isn't sensational enough to see a movie about or read about, and yet there's something really special about it. I love them. I couldn't get them out of my head after I read it, and I reread it for months, and I'm still kind of very drawn to the world that Bert and Verona live in their bubble. It's just like nothing I've ever seen in a movie before. I just think that she's actually comfortable with what's going on in her life, and yet at the same time she's sort of like comfortable with change too. Like, she's really not difficult, which I loved about her. She can pick up and go anywhere. She's not that woman that's saying, oh my God, I'm pregnant and what are we doing, in terms of like, how the hell are we going to do this? Like, she just gets on a plane and she goes and she figures it out. I really think that no matter where she is, as long as she's with Bert, she's okay, and I love that. It's a very simple notion of romance that's not overblown or overdone. That's just like two people that really kind of live for each other and sort of take care of each other.
For me, one of the most refreshing parts of the script was to see an actual love story of two people who are in love, and at no point in the movie do they fall out of love or are tested with infidelity or anything like that. These are two people who are going through a lot and couldn't go through one step of it without the other person, and I thought that was so refreshing because, as much as it's not necessarily represented in films, a lot of people live like that, and a lot of people have such incredible relationships, so it was nice to delve into that.
It was totally there when I met him. It was crazy. I mean, he's beyond lovely and hilarious, and was, if possible, more excited than me about doing this movie, which I didn't think was possible. Like, we just really found something in each other, and we found that we spoke the same language, and we liked the same goofy, stupid jokes, and we kind of shared a little bit of a secret language, and God, he's amazing. I mean, he was just there for everything, there for me. He's a great dude.
Well, Grace is the younger sister of Verona, who is played by Maya Rudolph, and she's the only family that Maya's character has in the world. And there's a very deep bond. They've lost their parents some time ago, and she really represents security in the movie for Maya's character. And she's a complicated girl, she's very young and ambitious and, happy-go-lucky in some ways, but she's desperately looking for love and security in her own life. And so there are just all these wonderful journeys in terms of relationships that we tap into, and that's a little bit of what hers is about.
Sam made me do it. Sam Mendes made me do it. I was like, really? You want me to go bigger? And he was like, keep going. And I trust Sam, so I just went out and went as far as I could go with her. And I think there are parents like Lily out in the world. I'm glad that my mother wasn't one of them. She's a little bit unhappy and masks it with the idea that she's a stand-up comedian, and probably the best, her idea of parenthood is just to let them be and not mess with them too much. They have cell phones, they'll be fine. And she kind of makes fun of them too, and I don't know what her logic is for that. Maybe that she gets them armed for when they go out in the world and other people make fun of them. Like, oh, Mom used to make fun of me like that, so this, you can't hurt my feelings. She believes in tough love. Tough love.
You know, on a practical level, it saves so much time. You know, you don't have to. But also in a movie like this, when you have people who they meet couples who supposedly have been together 10 or 15 years, I don't want them meeting for the first time on their first day of shooting. You know, you've got 2 days to get their scenes, and you need to have them communicating with each other. You know, so that's really why. But also because it's my way of creeping up slowly on the script and working out how I'm going to do it. You know, I can hear the words and I can watch them and I can see how they interact, and you know, it just helps me when I come to shoot. I think you need to, with the jokes in a movie like this, they need to sort of be almost invisible. Do you know what I mean? In the sense that they need to be thrown away. And I think when people have good timing, it's like to ask someone to sing out of tune successfully, they have to be able to sing in tune first. Do you know what I mean? So they need to know where the laughs are and then kind of forget about it. And that did help. And then you've got people like Jim Gaffigan, who you just met, you know, who is just a great, you know, he's just a very unusual, quirky presence, you know, and you haven't seen him in movies very much. I think his stand-up is hilarious, you know, and it definitely came in useful when he had a couple of long speeches to deliver, you know.
It was definitely different because I felt like we really did, the rehearsal was such an enormous part of what we were doing, and that's really where Sam's strength, I thought, was different than anything I'd ever experienced, because we just really got to know them really well. Spent a long time talking about the script and bringing in David Vendela sometimes, and he tackles things very carefully and meticulously and makes sure everything is right. Like, we really know who these people are, and he just did such a beautiful job, I thought.
Just about Sam working with Sam Mendes,
yeah.
And he's a theater background, lots of rehearsing.
Yeah.
How is that? Did you guys rehearse a lot? And how is that different, say, from like Leatherheads with George Clooney?
Absolutely. I mean, we rehearsed a lot in Leatherheads too, but it was, you know, it's just different. I think that Sam definitely brings that approach of he wants to get the scene down pat before he starts shooting, which is so smart. And I think very few people have the liberty or the ability to do that. And you know, Sam, I think, is, to be honest, the greatest storytelling director we have, really. I mean, I think there are amazing directors doing amazing films, but to tell a story, especially about a relationship so intricately and specifically, is phenomenal, and I think he's the only person who can do it. Also, on top of it, he's the most confident director I think I'll probably ever work with. And by that, I mean he's so confident being right, and he's so confident being wrong. And it's the greatest gift to have as an actor, that he can say, you know, after 5 takes, this isn't working, let's do it this way. Not, this isn't working, I don't know what to do. This isn't working, let's try it again this way. And you'll follow anybody like that anywhere they want to go.
Ahora no te asustes mucho.
Todos lloraban y a nadie reía, todos lloraban. Y oyendo esta música, allá en tierra extraña, eran nuestros suspiros, suspiros.